Very good, guys. I have a very exciting guest here today on the show. We are going to be learning from the folks at Spsoft today. I'm here with Michael Lazor, and he's going to be telling us, what Spsoft is in detail all about and how he's been helping to grow up the company. I can say as much as that they help other teams to provide their SaaS platforms in as quick as possible and highest quality as possible, and providing dedicated engineering teams. But I don't want to take as much away. So, Michael, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me here. What Spsoft is about? There are so many companies in the world that offer the same over and over type of engineers, dedicated teams, and custom software development services. What is our differentiator? Why are we different? And how do we actually provide value, not just the engineers? The thing is that our client base, our clients are mostly the product and platform vendors. So these are the startups or the grown startups, Series A, B, C, and some of the seed round that do actually need to facilitate their roadmap, their time to market. And very often they are not in the position to break down everything into the structured bits and pieces that are digestible by these engineers that everybody provide and offer. Those companies very often need a partner that understands the product business, ideally who actually had or runs a product business and who can co-create and co-product manage together with the product company and ideate and get that load off the shoulders of the product company and platform company itself. You see, the engineers are just a little piece of a puzzle, and they are often misinterpreted by both the vendor and the client. They do not solve the complete end-to-end problem. You need a hybrid skills team in order to be efficient and in order to actually boost the product or platform company forward and not be a burden and overhead. So we are trying to fill up this specific gap, and our mission is to be more efficient and more, of course, cost efficient, and actually more efficient than the in-house teams. To be honest, the term in-house doesn't make sense anymore because everybody works from home. So there is no such a thing as the house of the product or platform company. They just have some people, some teams that are on the same page, in sync, that are engaged with the mission of the company and who are supposed to help to push its business forward. So yeah, our clients usually allow to have own people due to the control that they have, the engagement that they can share, and the efficiency that they can achieve. As I said, our mission is to beat that and provide the better score and overall effect and value than they would be able to cover with their own people. And actually, we are successfully doing that. You cannot scale that too much. You cannot do the mass production of this approach. That's why we tend to perceive ourselves as boutique company. You know, there are boutique type of shops and there are the supermarkets where the crowd goes and self-services itself. And in the boutique, you have this personalized approach. Everything's tailored. You have a lot of attention. You have quality. You have attention to the details. So that's where we are.
And who would be the types of clients that you typically would be working with? What characterizes, a client of Spsoft?
So our clients would be typically the new age digital startups that provide the services through the different digital channels to the audience, to the public. If you're talking about verticals, that would be retail, e-commerce, fintech, healthcare. We actually love and enjoy the fact that we have lots of healthcare and fintech clients because it allows us to develop the domain expertise that is to, oops, I'm sorry. That together with the technical expertise gives this force multiplier that the clients want and need when they speak common industry language with their teams and with their product managers and with their architects.
Yeah, I see. It's very interesting, actually. You know, these types of forward-thinking companies, like obviously, put it different. What role would you say does your own website play in order to attract those types of clients?
For now, the website is playing the less role than I would like it to play. And I'm working on it. For example, my friends who own a bigger custom software engineering companies, they get like 300 leads per month that would be filling their contact form. I would not like to have that much because I'm still the follower of the boutique type of approach and experience. So I don't want to have a big army of engineers that are taking care of the clients on the average level. I used to work in the big company previously, and I grew it from 100 people to 1,000 people. And I was managing and operating the masses of the engineering teams like at a scale. So I enjoy more precision and more attention to the details and more closer relationship with my clients who often invite me to their board. And I would still allow the website to be bringing the relevant customers and clients which have the demand that we can help with. So I'm working on it, and it's far from my goal at the moment.
Gotcha. Makes a lot of sense. Is there something, you mentioned the goal that you're setting there. Is there something where you see room for improvement on the website? Like, is there something that you already were looking at?
Yeah, definitely we need to rank high in the SEO search result pages. And we need more traffic of the relevant leads that would be coming our way. To bring more traffic, we need more content that is published and promoted by the proper relevant influencers in the proper places. So it's about facilitating and boosting our content creation and content publishing strategy, and optimizing our website, describing better our cases, making them more alive with some of the videos that we like, the one we are doing right now, but with our clients who are sharing their experience, so that the potential customers can hear something that's familiar to the state they're in and the current situation and problems they want to be solved.
Super interesting. I would love to switch gears a little bit, right? We learned a little bit about what you guys are doing, how you're thinking about your digital positioning. I'm curious about you as a leader in the company, right? Could you tell me, like, what's the type of content that you consume? Like, how do you educate yourself to continuously progress?
So at the beginning, I was just a programming nerd that was doing programming by himself. And then I was taking care of the clients and managing their projects as the team lead and the architect who was managing the engineering teams. And then after a while, I ended up with the 100 people company that was acquired by the 3,000 people company that through the biggest world brands at me. And now I had to understand their problems and solve them and keep them happy and grow them. So that school boosted my experience. It was all practical. I don't read much books.
Mhm.
I had a lot of experience by trying and experimenting, not giving up, and being inventive and creative, thinking out of the box. And when you solve many problems at a serious scale for serious brands, and you make many mistakes, you get your hard lessons. This is how your brain learns. And I did it for 20 years. This is how I learned how to dance, by partying a lot. And this is how I learned how to do the proper team composition, how to do the complex programs management. Or I managed programs up to 800 people, believe it or not. And this is how I learned how to compose the proper teams, choose the proper people, give them the proper motivation and engagement, and roles and responsibilities. And this is how I learned to understand what type of client I'm talking to, and what type of problems they have. And you already see the patterns by the first words of what you've been told. You already know how the sentence is going to end up and how the conversation is going to go.
Yep. Yep. Super interesting. Since we're slowly approaching, right, the end of the interview, I have a couple of, short and crisp, rapid fire questions. Would you be ready for those?
Yeah, I also have one question to you.
Awesome. I love it. Do you want to go ahead first?
How many people and time you think it takes to create a fully functional ERP system and migrate 10 years worth of legacy data from the previous ERP system for the mid-size clothes manufacturer? We're talking about ERP system that is taking care of all their resource planning and tracking and inventory and warehouses and self-cost calculation of the clothes that they are producing and selling at a scale.
I'm a little bit biased because I used to be employed by Workday. You might have come across Workday as an ERP system in the cloud. So it would be hard for me to guess now an exact number, but I would be considering this like, I don't know, months, year and a half. I don't know. It's hard for me to say really the number.
The time duration is one parameter, and the team size that needs to develop the system and migrate the data is another parameter. So in order to measure the total size, you need to tell approximately the duration of time and the size of the team, not just one thing, because one thing doesn't give you the full picture. Just blind guess, like ERP system development. What can it take? The minimal version of the real fully functional ERP system. Yes.
People and time.
Yeah, that's Blindshoot.
Blindshoot, pre-existing system. Maybe let's talk. It's so hard. I'm just going to be wrong. 6 months, 10 people.
It usually takes that, and companies usually put together these teams and charge for these teams, and it's reasonable. But it took us 12 months for one person to develop the ERP, migrate all the data, test it, and launch it on the production of the Los Angeles-based clothes manufacturer and distributor, who has 1,000 people in Indonesia producing all that, and about 30 people in Los Angeles selling big containers of clothes throughout America, and 10 years worth of non-clean, bad shape data from their previous ERP system that we rewrote with this one person. But the person is not an ordinary person. It's a monster type of a person. But this is what you usually do when you run a boutique type of company. You need this type of people in order to deliver this type of service.
Makes a lot of sense. Maybe my very last question that I would have actually for the interview, since we're approaching the end, would be if you would be restarting Spsoft today, first day, you're just getting to start working on it. What would be the one advice that you would give yourself?
I think the one piece of advice that I would give to myself is start with a proper, strong core marketing approach.
There you go. Michael, I really appreciate you took the time and were path of the Pathmonk Presents podcast today. Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much for having me, Lukasz.